Welcome back to Legends Live, as presented by the National Basketball Retired Players Association, the home of all our NBA and WNBA legends. I'd like to remind our viewers that you can submit questions during the show. And without any further delay, I'd like to welcome this week's guest. He is a former Arizona State Sun Devil. He is a Denver Nuggets legend. We've got Mr. Triple Double, the original Mr. Triple Double here, Lafayette Fat Lever. Fat, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Tyler. How you doing, my man, with all this madness that's going on?
I'm hanging in there, man.
Good.
I had a question for you, but I've been somebody put a bug in my ear that the first thing I need to know from you. What is the new name for the NBA?
Oh, come on. Where you been?
What's the new name for the NBA?
The Nugget Basketball Association. Come on, Nuggets, go. Come on, bro.
Okay, look, I'm gonna give you plenty of time to talk about. I'll give you plenty of time. Plenty of time.
How about the Nuggets?
Okay, listen. You want to get into them now?
No, I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
We can get into it. Because listen. I was gonna say, I don't know if you see, I've got the Kentucky in the back. I love Jamal Murray, so I'm enjoying this just as much as you are.
You got one foot in the door now with being a Jamal fan with Kentucky in the background. Mm-hmm. That's one foot in the door. You get that full foot in before the session's over with.
I'm basically part of the team, is what I'm picking up here.
Just a team player.
Yeah,
that's why they win. That's why they win, and that's a team right there, my man.
Now let's go ahead. What do you think about this Nuggets run? Like, how do they keep going to Game 7s? And how do they keep winning Game 7s?
I don't know how they got into Game 7 because going back to the Utah series, I was surprised they got out of that. So once they got out of that series, going into the second series, I'm like, okay, they got a battle in front of them. Clippers. Right. So didn't expect any of this. And then especially you brought up your guy Jamal Murray playing outstanding basketball. And you think about it, he's going up against 2, maybe 3 of the top defenders in the NBA with Kawhi, with PG-13, and also Beverly. So he's putting up numbers. I'm just totally amazed as far as how well they competed. And then to be able to come back from double-digit deficits in the last 2 games and come back with a win, oh, yeah, outstanding basketball. So kudos out to the Nuggets. Even though I'm a little biased, kudos out to the Nuggets.
Listen, just a little bit. It's fine, though. Okay, so what do they need to do to stop the Lakers? Like, the Lakers, a juggernaut, of course. They've also had, 6-7 days off at this point? Right. Nuggets are coming off back-to-back 7-game series. So what does Denver have to do to
the first thing in Denver, every game that the Nuggets play in, if they limit their turnovers, they've got a good chance of winning. On the offensive end, they've got so many different weapons that you can't play one and not expect the other one to go off or do something spectacular. So not turn over the basketball, especially against the Lakers, and then get some rest and utilize the depth of your bench first and foremost, because Jamal, Jokic, the starters put in a lot of minutes. Yeah, they're a little fatigued, even though they're never going to use that as an excuse, but they will be. A rested Laker team is going to come out and try to run them, get them out of their situation. But this is where the depth of the bench come in for the Nuggets. You got the guys coming off, Michael Porter Jr., Monte Morris. You keep Millsap if he starts, who doesn't start, and we haven't seen the entire roster yet. So I like that portion of it. But this is a great, great Laker team. So they've got their hands full. It reminds me of going back to the old days, the Lakers of Magic Johnson, Byron Scott, Michael Cooper, Kareem against the Denver Nuggets of myself, Alex English, and that group. So I'm kind of want to see the Nuggets move ahead on this one now because we got some redemptions right here.
I was going to say, last time you all that was conference finals, if I'm not mistaken, right? At Lakers, Nuggets. Okay, so what's the prediction for this time? You think the Nuggets turn the tide?
Ooh. That crystal ball says yes, but the numbers don't match up. So right now, 1-2 games at a time. Call me back after the third game. Call me back after the third game. I'll let you know who's going to win the series.
Okay. Who's winning game 1? Give me that. Who's winning off the bat? Like, does that Nuggets momentum?
Okay. No, I will give the Lakers the edge. I'll give the Lakers the edge on that, but I don't see them coming back doing much more than taking the Nuggets out of the first game jitters and knowing where they go from there. So I see Lakers take game 1, and then we move on from there.
Okay. What do you think we see from Jokic this series? Because Clippers didn't necessarily have the big bodies. The Lakers do. Like, they can go AD, they can go Dwight Howard, JaVale. Like, they just got long arms, big bodies to throw at them. So what do you think we see from Jokic this series?
Well, Tyler, I'll tell you this. No matter what you throw at him, he's going to throw something back at you because he's that much of a so multidimensional type of a player.
Yeah, he's such a talent.
If they put a body on him, he's going away from the basket. You put someone small on him, he's going down low to the basket. And the shots he's making, these 1 foot fallaways, these 1 foot leaners,
rainbow shots
everywhere. So I think he makes that adjustment. And the thing that I hesitate to say is that when you're more physical with him, then he gets thrown out of the ball game somewhat.
That's where I think they may have a little trouble, just because if Dwight and JaVale, that's what they're there for. If they only have to rough them up, box them out a little bit, let AD come in, play some 5 at the end of the game. That's what I worry about.
I worry about that matchup too, because AD on Jokic is a very good matchup. Size for size, inside out type of games, both multidimensional players. And if they put him on there, that's a chance for someone like Jeremy Grant coming in and Paul Millsap to take advantage of the other match. That's what makes this Nuggets team so strong. Their depth and able to defend and get up and play offense and defense. And Michael Malone is a defensive coach, so if the defense is there, they'll get the offense.
Yeah, this is a team, they don't really get much kudos for their defense, because you think of Jokic, Jamal, not necessarily defense first guys, but you look at that game 7, the Clippers scored 89 points. That's a great offense that they held to 89 points when everything was on the line. So you playing some kind of defense at that point.
Well, when the Nuggets get behind, they start playing defense and don't turn the ball over. That's why they were able to come back from double point deficits in those last 2 games to come up with victories. And that's on the defensive side. And when you start playing defense like that and not turning the ball over, you get easy scoring opportunities.
Right. Yeah, I think it's the thing. You're not going to be able to do that against LeBron James. Yeah. Get down 3-1. Like, we've seen him on the other side of it. I don't think we're going to see him blow too many 3-1 leads. But I didn't think we'd see Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
I didn't either.
You really never know.
Tyler, here's the biggest thing. The bubble is one thing, but remember that home court advantage that everyone gets away from now? I just know the Clippers would have loved to been out of the bubble, been back home. That would have changed the dynamics of the games, but it is what it is, so you have to deal with it. And LeBron has been there multiple times before, so he knows how to get his team back into it, and it's going to be very critical to make sure that the Nuggets don't get too caught up in the emotions of the finals this early in the game. That's why I think the emotions will be there, but Nuggets may give up the first one, but after game 3, I think it's time for them to settle in.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, say we take that Lakers Nuggets conference finals that you played in, we transported that into the bubble. How do you think that would work? Like, what do you think? What kind of effect do you think the bubble would have on you?
I think we'd probably be better off.
Okay.
In a bubble situation. I say that because our team was so close and we did so much together. So being in a bubble, you were still doing those things. One of the things that Chopper Travellini used to do was always have card games, playing in card games and keeping the guys close. We were always going out to eat. So you're in that bubble, and every time we went on the road somewhere, we didn't have the road show like the Lakers. We had a few fans there, but going into the bubble, you're used to being somewhat isolated within a small group, guys playing cards, chit-chatting and things like that, and you go out periodically, but with the Lakers, everybody wants to see them, and that fan stands for it. It's not there. So I'm amazed by the families that are at the games now and how they're interacting with the guys on the floor. I see the guy like the Celtics big star Tatum. He's out there playing well. His son's still watching. Same thing with Markieff Morris Jr. Senior. His son there. That's great. So we saw the other side of that too, where you got the rift going between 2 different teams and players in the stands, family members.
Yeah, Westbrook and getting Rondo's brother. That was a lot.
Yeah, that's a change. That's a change that that home court advantage is not the same, but that's something similar to it.
I think, and jumping to the other side of the bracket, I think that's some of what we're seeing with the Heat. I read something similar, that the reason that the Heat were kind of built for the bubble, it's like they do all this stuff ordinarily. Like if they were in Miami, they'd all be focused on basketball. They'd still be hanging out, still working out, still getting to the gym and all that. So the bubble didn't feel like too much of a change. And you see they stormed right into the conference final and are up right now.
And I like that experience that Jimmy Butler brings to the table. Erik Spoelstra's been there. So I give Erik Spoelstra a lot of credit because we didn't expect any of this coming from his side, being with Miami. And then the way you got the Dragon coming in, Dragic coming in, playing well. So he's made adjustments. And that's what, being in different atmospheres of the bubble or being at home on the road, you've got to make those adjustments. And I think Miami's done a great job of making those adjustments.
So what do you think? They got the close game one, the conference finals. They're up 1-0 on the Celtics. What are you seeing from that series? What do you think we see in game two in the rest of the Eastern Conference Finals?
How young the Boston Celtics really are as far as their stars go. You see Jason Tatum out there and the other guys that are young, been in the league less than 3 years. Jimmy Butler's been in the league a little longer. And then even though they've played some playoff games, but nothing like this. So I think that youthfulness, not necessarily inexperience, but inexperience in the playoff that someone like Jimmy Butler and older players from the Miami Heat has, especially with the coach, because the adjustments that he's made has been very, very eventful for them to the point where it hasn't cost games, and more than anything, it's giving them a chance to win basketball games.
Right. So who do you? Sounds like you're leaning the Heat. Who do you have? Who you got on the other side of the bracket?
I like Boston, and I like them because as they grow and they get this experience in 7 games, I like their talent to come up and do it. But I think it's going to go 7 games, and then I'll take Boston.
Okay, Boston and
in 7.
You said, so you can't say for the Western Conference Finals. You don't know who they'll be facing just yet.
It's still the NBA. So if it's the Nugget Basketball Association, then I'm leaning that way. But at the same time, I'm not throwing my whole hand in yet because I'm not in Vegas. I'm sitting at home in Phoenix right now. So
right. I was going to say, careful.
One game at a time.
Yeah.
One game
careful
at a time.
with it. Exactly. Now, I mentioned it earlier with the triple doubles. Now, you've got 43 career triple doubles. Nikola Jokic currently has 41. Is there? I mean, I'm just saying. This is your. If there's anything you want to say to him, tell him knock it off.
Tyler,
or, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't want the season to start back up.
I get it, man.
I could have went the whole season, and he would have broken my records. So he's going to do it without question because he does it so effortlessly and easy that I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan because you can see certain guys who want to get a triple double, and they play for the stats. He doesn't have to play for the stats. He just plays his game, and they come like
he just
does
happens
it every
to
day.
get them. Yeah.
Yeah, he just because he's going to pass the ball. And then how many big guys do you see? One of the plays we saw the other night in the Clipper game, the guard got the outlet, got the rebound, threw an outlet pass to a 7-footer who took the ball up the court to make the pass.
Yeah,
and that was Jokic. That's something different that you don't see, and that's how his game has transformed his teammates, has transformed himself. I thought he was going to be in big trouble coming back from Serbia. After losing all the weight.
Yeah,
and
I did too.
Can't even see the difference.
I did too. No, he's been great. Like every single game, like it's come down to 7, so they've played the thinnest of margins, and he's been crucial for them.
Yeah, he's done it all. So, but that other kid from Kentucky that's sitting behind you, Jamal Murray.
Oh yeah, he's helping a little bit.
They've got that 1-2 punch combination where they're working together, and that's something they didn't have early on in the season last year. Right. Now it's gotten to that point where it's grown and they've gotten better working together. So that 1-2 combination, and then whoever fills in for that third, because it takes usually 3 big guys to win a game, the big 3 or the 3-on-3, however you play it, 3 guys usually win basketball games for you.
Now, you brought up Jamal. You were a pretty good defender in your day. You Nuggets all-time leader in steals, all NBA defense team. How would you stop Jamal Murray? How would you approach Jamal Murray? I don't know if you can stop him. The kind of ball he's playing right now.
It's hard because I just said Kawhi and PJ 3 couldn't stop him. I'd pick him up full court, and if he scored too many points on me, I'd go get TR Dunn and Nelson Turner to guard him.
Okay, that's
my teammates because those.
Y'all give it a try, man.
I must pick him up full court, make him work a little bit, And then when he gets down low, start posting up and doing different things. I'm going to look over at TR. I'm going to look over at Elston Turner. The better defensive player says, hey, you guys go, come on, let's switch.
I'll take somebody else. Now, let me say, what do you think of, like, everybody playing the fast pace? Like, everybody, like, you guys played in the 80s. You guys it was innovative, up and down, and it wasn't even so much 3-pointers because that style wasn't as prominent then. But is it something like you like to watch it now? You don't like to watch it? Like, what do you think of the style of play just in general now?
Tyler, I like the style of play. I like how different teams utilize it. And the utilization from our era to now is because of the 3-point. You see more 5-out type of offenses being ran, and all the 5 players are above the 3-point line. Right. Our motion type of offense was Alex would catch it outside, but not at the 3-point line necessarily. And then it opened up the middle, so you got a lot of baskets around there, guys cutting to the basket. So I like the cuts and the guys who pass to the open cutter who's going to the basket and not necessarily driving to the basket, and you got a 2-pointer. In today's game, you kick it out for a 3.
Right.
And it's a bad shot if your feet are on the line and it's a 2.
Right.
So that mid-range game has changed dramatically from our era to now. But I think that the 3-point shooters who can shoot it, shoot it. If you are a mid-range shooter, Monte Morris to me with the Nuggets is a great mid-range shooter. And he's not necessarily going to take the 3. Someone like Lou Williams from the Clippers, it's an automatic score. So I think it's your personnel that know your personnel. And once you know that, if a guy's out there at 3, Beverly's out there at 3, he's open for a reason. They want him to shoot the basketball. And you let that happen. The same thing with Kyle Kuzma with the Lakers. If he's out there open for a 3, you better challenge that shot.
Right. Now, that was, as far as you watching, is that something would you like to play in this era? Like you mentioned some of the motion stuff. Now, it would be, you'd bring the ball up the court and have so much space to attack, to operate. Is that something you'd like, or you prefer that motion?
I would love in this type of offense to play with someone like Jokic that passes the ball because you're always moving.
Right.
And I hate to bring up the Houston Rockets. History is there, and I've got to support him all the way through. But the one-on-one basketball makes him work so hard that everyone else stands around. I don't like that part of the basketball game, but if you have a talent like a James Harden that can beat anyone one-on-one, or the athletic ability of someone like Russell Westbrook, you pay to play to those strengths. My strength was not beating someone one-on-one, but making sure that I moved and took what the defense gave me. If someone was playing off me, then I gave that a position to get away from them. If someone was playing too tight, you had the ability to go by them. But you didn't necessarily have to do it with the dribble. That's why you had that wing guy, kick it to him, cut to the basket, get an easy layup.
So is there anybody that reminds you of yourself, or anybody like you like to watch play currently?
There's a guy, and he resembles me as my playing days. We look back at some of those old cards, and Spencer Dinwiddie. I'm looking at this kid, and I was like, man, did I look like that? Think about it. You took a step back, like, okay. So I watched him play, and I was like, oh, okay. So that would be a comparison as far as resemblance go. And then as far as the game goes, if I stay with the Nuggets, I'd say someone like Monte Morris. But Spencer's someone that plays a similar type game, can play offense, can guard the ball, but is more going to be getting you involved and everyone else playing the same game, getting everybody on the same page.
Got you. Now, did you ever, like, triple double? Did you ever have to? I'll keep it between you and me. Did you have to, like, yell at Alex English, like, "Hey, come on!" Like, that would have been my 10th assist, man. You have to get on Danny Shays, or say he grabbed your 10th rebound right in front of you. You ever have to yell at anybody like that?
I didn't. They yelled at me for it because Danny Shays, I'm like, I'm boxing out. You come in and steal the rebounds. Now Doug's going to yell at me for not getting any rebounds. So they
gave you the hard time.
Oh, they always gave me the hard time. And then Bill Hanson would come up and say, hey, you know what? You should average a triple-double. You play all the minutes. You got 40 minutes. You're playing 40 minutes. You should be able to get double figures in scoring.
Yes, at least you can do.
You steal from me. Yeah, you should get a triple double. So it was always in a joking manner, but I think that's where we were talking earlier, Tyler, about the fun part of the guys. It was a lot of fun because Alex English was a superstar, and he never carried himself that way. That was one of the things that I like about the Legends and what we do with the Retired Players Association. When you see these guys around at a All-Star game or an event that we're putting on, where there's a players meeting, that's where that camaraderie comes back. And I remember had a teammate in Dallas by the name of Rodney McCray. He yelled at one of the players, the big guys, for missing a layup, because he would have had a triple-double in one of the games. So every time we see each other at one of the Retired Players or Legends meetings and things like that, those are the things that come back and gets that energy flowing again.
Right. See, I think we checked with Bridge. I think we got a couple of viewer questions lined up here. Let's see what questions people have for. If you got a second to answer a couple questions with this, Fat.
Let's see what we got. Let's see what we come up with.
Let's see. Oh, it's my man from last week. I cannot pronounce his name, but I recognize the name. I appreciate you coming back. It says, Fat, you are 25th at NBA all-time list in steals. Which players were most difficult to take the ball from then?
That's an easy answer. Isaiah Thomas. Remember, there's a video when I was in Portland. I always say this. Tyler, I think we might have talked about this when we did an interview back at the All-Star game. Isaiah Thomas, there's a little highlight of me trying to take the ball from him, and I'm in a Blazer uniform. And it's like a Globetrotter routine. So he's dribbling the ball, and I'm chasing him on one side. Darnell Valentine is chasing him on the other side. So we're going back and forth, and he's just dribbling through us like, okay. And at that time, we're like, we can't foul.
Right.
And then Jack Ramsey, who's the coach, is over there screaming, foul him. Darnell, you foul him. So he's one of those ball handling magicians that was really difficult to take the ball from because he had the ball on the string. And I'll use someone like in today's game. I think Steph Curry has a ball on the string that's, it's a high dribble, whereas Isaiah was lower to the ground. But Kyrie Irving would be the next guy in today's era that I think would be hard to take the ball from on a one-on-one defensive position.
I feel like Chris Paul up there too, just in terms of having a ball on the string.
Yeah, and those guys who are going to look to score. Chris Paul on the string is looking to pass the ball, whereas James Harden, you never see him passing the ball as much as he scores, he gets his assists, but he's looking to score first, and he's primarily the guy with the ball. Yeah.
Let's see. Next question we got from Ty here. He said, "Would love to know if Fat has been around this Nuggets team at all, or talked to Murray Jokic about their games. You been in touch with the team any?"
I have, because I do some of the broadcasting with Altitude periodically before the pandemic hit, and I go back and do a few games and got a chance to watch them in practice. And one of the things I talk about Jokic as far as off the court goes, he is so easygoing. He is that total gentle giant. He dances with the guys on the floor. He dances with the other teammates' kids in the hallways. He's high-fiving everybody. And when you ask him a question, it's usually a short answer, but it's a comical answer. So he's just so easygoing. And Jamal Murray is just the opposite. He's one of those intense competitors.
Jamal, he's all in.
He's one of those guys that's always learning. He's always learning. So he's gotten to the point now where he's not afraid to go and say something to a teammate without offending them and letting them know where things stand. So I've spent some time around him. I do some stuff in the Kings community with their ambassadors program. We're trying to get some other Dream Center programs going back in Denver once all this loosens up. So the Junior Nuggets is one of the things that I get a chance to be a part of and talk about, from Gold Crown Foundation all the way back to the stuff that the Kings do in the community. So that's a good part of the things where I get the chance to see them, and even going out to some of their camps and clinics that they put on for the kids.
Now, what are the Junior Nuggets? You said you did some work with them.
The Junior Nuggets is just like the Junior NBA teams that have all their affiliates, Junior Suns, the Junior Kings, the Little League programs that the kids have up that they do through the Junior NBA program. So the Junior Nuggets is one that we put on. We do something similar with the Legends of Basketball with our full court press programs, where it's camps and clinics that we go out and do with the kids. And the Nuggets is called their Junior Nuggets program.
Got you. Okay. See if we have any other questions, Bridget. If not, we'll won't take too much more of your time. So last question. Okay. So I got one more thing I got to get from you, Fat. Before everybody leaves, you got to give us a couple songs for the playlist. We're putting together a playlist. Give us 1 or 2 songs, anything that you're listening. It can be old, it could be new, anything at all.
Nothing like the real thing, baby.
Yeah, turn it up.
Ain't nothing like the real thing. There you go. You got it.
Okay. You like that? So you
I
like
failed
the
that music class,
stuff.
by the way, too, though.
No, man. I would C+. I would give you a C+ at least.
Oh my God. I'm a B student. No. I'm a B student.
C+. C+.
Hard to please. See, you just hold it against me because that you only got 1 foot in the Nugget bandwagon because you got 1 player. You got to get that whole foot in there.
See, I'll tell you this. I had 2 because y'all had, if you remember last year, y'all had Jared Vanderbilt who went to Kentucky. And he got. I get why they did the trade. It happens, but that was my 2nd foot right there.
Okay, there you go. We'll pass you.
Okay, yeah, y'all get another Wildcat in there. Okay, well, all right, Fat Lever. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Take care of yourself, and look forward to speaking to you again.
You got it, Tyler. Thanks, Bridget. Legends of Basketball. Everybody go to their website, support us. These guys need to be spoken to and let them know they're still around, and we got to get back out there so we can all get back together and get into those little reunion times again. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you. Like Fat said, check us out every Thursday. We've got new episodes live every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. You can check us out on the NBA Alumni Twitter page, Facebook, YouTube, and the Twitch. I'd like to remind our viewers you can watch any replays of old episodes at legendsofbasketball.com/legendslive.